Okay, hey, how's it going? Oh, I'm off getting water again. Off getting water. I feel like I don't have much to say, you know? Like, I brought my stuff to do the videos with. It's really just my phone, right? So, I guess I bring it anyway, but brought the mic and the little stick. But I don't know, I feel like I've kind of said everything, not everything, but a lot of what I wanted to say about climate and stuff like that. So why bother repeating, right? Other than personal satisfaction. Hey, you know, I'm going to focus here. Let's see now. Okay. Yeah. I guess I could. Sort of getting rainy again. Quite a bit of rain lately. The month of June was really nice. It was hardly. Oops, it's a rock. It wasn't really that rainy at all. A bit here and there, of course, but anyway, probably July will be rainier, and then August will be rainier, and maybe August and September is the most rainy, although it depends. Oh, yeah. This keeps dropping. I suppose I could say I'm in a bit of a holding pattern, if you want to put it that way. Part of me is just waiting to see what's coming with the Arctic sea ice. It's a little difficult to say at this point what's gonna happen. I suppose so much depends on it's not just temperature, air or water temperature, but also weather conditions, wave patterns, all that stuff. Anyway, but there's a lot of places you can check out if you're interested in finding out what that's about. I wonder, maybe I should put some links, some Facebook links or something. Yeah, I guess not too chatty. Maybe that makes for not good video blogs. Anyway, whatever. So I'm off to get water. I've got my water here. There it is. Ready to go back. Got my umbrella. What I've been doing is walking along the trail to get here, like the trail in back of the house. And then walking back on the road, coming back. Because the trail coming up is a little bit, it's kind of dark, isn't it? Oops. The trail from the house is very steep, and I'm just sort of gradually packing it down. So going back, because I have a lot of weight on me, usually, or not usually, always I've been walking on the road, you know. It's easier to go up and then fall than it is to go down and then fall. Because when you go up, you just fall a little ways, but if you go down, you just roll all the way down. It's so steep. Don't want to do that with, 18 kilos of stuff on your back. Anyway, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I should drink some water. Some water. Maybe it's because I'm feeling under the weather a bit. I was up late, having to go to the toilet a lot. Anyway, I'm doing okay, but Maybe that's too much information. Anyway, that's probably why I'm not very chatty. Although I'm not that chatty anyway. Oh, there's stuff in this one. I think I'm not that chatty, but I guess I have my moments. What else is going on? I guess I don't talk about much personal things, unless it's related to nature things, I guess. Yeah. Maybe I should stop this stupid thing and let's do a walking one, see if something good comes out of that. Okay, see you later, or maybe not. Okay, here we go. It's interesting. Let's see, what can I talk about? Let's brighten this up a bit. Some ant on me. It's interesting, the forest is pretty wet. It's going to get wetter for sure. But the spring is, it's not, it was actually getting kind of slow, even though the rains had come. And now it's just sort of normal, but it's not really gushing out yet. I guess it takes some time for the water to filter through the ground and all that. You can see it's quite dark. It's kind of nice and dark, it's moody. I mean, to my eyes it's not so dark as what I think on the screen, but because our eyes are so adjustable, I guess. Yeah. I think in the rainy season I probably won't do as much hiking, you know, as I was earlier in the year. Just because the conditions aren't so good, you know, and all that. I'll still do some. If there's looks like a good day and stuff, I'll get out there. And I still have a lot of things I want to explore trail-wise, but I really want to go up to Coherent and hike along the road that heads sort of north-ish. Trail, I guess you could say. Yeah, so I want to explore that. There's another trail going off the northern. I've been exploring the various trails on the ridges to the north of the house, just behind the house. And there's a trail there that continues on up that I want to definitely check out. Let's see, what else? I guess, I mean, I have a lot of thoughts lately. I guess my mood's been a bit dark, you know, maybe that's why I don't have much to say, you know. I like to make these at least a little bit funny, right? Because life is so funny. But lately, I don't want to say, I want to say despair, but that's a little heavy. More heavy than what it is, maybe. But definitely that's part of it. Ow, jeez, that hurts. My foot is still. I'm sure it'll be a couple years. What's darkness? I'm sure. Oh, isn't that gorgeous, eh? Woo! That hill. I'm sure it's going to be at least a couple more years till that foot's totally healed. I mean, I can do a lot of walking and stuff, but if I step on a rock and it pushes my ankle at a certain angle, or the foot at a certain angle, whoa, it hurts. Anyway, healing takes time, and that's just the way it is, I guess. Maybe at some level there's a feeling of giving up, eh? Maybe that's something I could touch on. This feeling of just giving up. I'm not giving up, but I feel like, wow, I'm just gonna give up, right? But I know, I'm like almost 60, right? I know that kind of feeling. Brighten it up a bit. It's just a temporary thing, so just keep going as long as you're here, right? Working towards whatever. A lot of that's tied into, climate and the state of the natural world, the state of human societies, and the direction they're all going. Like, oh, jeez. Oh, look at that. Oh, you can't see it at all, can you? Here, let's brighten that up. See if we can get a peek. Ooh. There's the water. Oh yeah. Nice. Zoom out. I didn't know you could zoom while you're filming. That's kind of neat. Okay, a lot of camera manipulation on this one. Yeah, anyway, so look at this. Someone was cutting some banana trees. So you can see right here, they just cut that right there. So what they do is they cut the banana trees, and I guess get the bananas, but also the leaves you can use to cook with and stuff. And whether they're getting bananas or banana flowers or something, I don't know. But anyway, you just cut them and then they grow back. It's not a big deal. That's how you do it. Some more water. Nice. Anyway, whatever. What am I blabbing on about? Nothing, actually. I guess I find you have your moments where things just push forward and it feels like there's motion at some level, and that's always a good feeling. And then there's other times when everything's just really still. And I think that the stillness is as important as the movement. Right? Yeah, so here you can see where I'm coming from. Right, okay, so stillness is as important as the movement. Where does that go? Maybe there's a lesson. I mean, is it a lesson? I kind of think I already know it. Oh, it's really, to be really careful on the rocks and on the roots and stuff that cross the trail, because they can be super slippery. Whoosh. Don't want to slip and slam that foot on something. I guess one of my big goals is just to keep walking in these woods as long as I can. Do you know what I mean? As long as I can be here, as long as my health holds up, all that. Yeah. Right, so stillness. Well, you often hear, I guess, people say, well, what can I do? I want to fix the world. Well, that's a problematic thing, I suppose. The thought that we can fix it, we can help fix it, I guess. I don't know. Depends how you look at it. We can do our bit. That's all good. If only to keep our own spirits up, you know? What do they say? How'd that go? And who said it? I don't know. Something to do with one way to get out of despair is in action, right? So, I guess being in a kind of, don't want to use the word despair, it's too big. But being, if you can use that word but soften it a lot. I can't think of what other word to use. But if you, it's really easy to be in that state of being and then just freeze, right? Stop. So, something's going on over there. Anyway, so stillness. Stillness from just as a lull from action. Stillness from feelings of some sort of despair. Is there a difference between that? Stopping. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I don't know. Maybe the end result could be the same. I don't know. I mean, people get locked into depression and stuff and then can't get out of it for a long time. I mean, some people even pretty much their whole lives, essentially. Wow, there's a lot of water coming off that thing. Actually, when we get down there, I can show you. Right, so, I don't know, I'm just doing a little thought experiment here. I definitely think that, you know, you could say, oh, people say, well, what can I do? I want to do something, or I don't want to do anything, but what can I do anyway, or however you want to put it. And then there's a good response that says, well, maybe we should do nothing, which means maybe part of the problem is our inner desire to do something, right? A lot of times when we do something, it fucks things up, which is the problem, right? I mean, what is that? John Livingston in his Rogue Primate book, and his talks on CBC, you know, from like 1990, talks about like humans are the do-it-yourselfers, like the doers, always have to do something. I don't know. I love to do stuff. I love to make stuff. Right? Like I really love to make things. It's, you know, I love music and making music, but if I can't make the instruments, probably can't be bothered really, you know. Somehow it's all tied together for me, right? And I love all that stuff, making things, sewing. I worked sewing for a long time. I made moccasins since I was like a teenager. Oof, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just blabbing and pondering. Don't look for any answers here, I'll tell you. No. Anyway, forget me here for now. I'll be back. Let's have a look at this gushing water. Oh yeah, you can see splashing out there a bit. feel like the video went off on me. See that splashing there? There's a pipe up there. You can't really see it, but you can see the water splashing out over. So yeah, it's a big kind of concrete cistern, I guess you could say. And that then feeds there's the plastic tanks that go down into the village, right? Let's zoom out. Let's zoom out. Oh yeah. So there's and then that goes into all the piping to the village, including, oi, that's that sound. It sounds like stuff falling down the trees, but it's just water. I don't know if you heard that. Yeah, so the water for my place, even though it's not in this main part of the village that's connected here, there's like 2 houses, maybe, I think Doug and Oz place, like part of their homestay is connected to that water. But yeah, so that comes down to my place. So like, you know, it's good water actually. Just goes through. Ooh. Wow. See if I can get a video of this. Oops, there. Oh, that was good. Had a bug on me. Yeah. So. Yeah. Anyway, so I do drink it actually. Like I'll cook with it. You can boil it. And I think you could probably drink it too. I don't. I mean, I can also go closer to the tanks, and get that water. And my friends, Piece of Tom and her nephew, and they always say, "Oh, you can get the water here." It was really nice, right? I can just get it from their place, and I can do that. But I really love the walk. Eh? It's really about the walk. Oh, look at that! Eh? This is one of my favorite spots in this walk because it kind of opens up. You can see the mountains and everything. Yeah. So, yeah, but it's nice that they say I can drink that water. But of course I like to walk, and I like to walk to get my water, and then I can, when I go to the water, I can do a little prayer, like here. Yeah, so, you know, I can walk to the water and do a little prayer for thanking the water, eh? I think it's really important. I don't know. I think it's important. I guess just pulling it out of the tap, but I don't know, I guess you could give thanks then too. Why not? Anyway, for me it helps to go to the source, the water. And of course this is a big theme for this last, how long have I been coming up here? Like, oh geez, it's probably almost a year and a half, getting close to a year and a half that I'm coming up to get my water here. It's really powerful. You know, I don't know what to say. Oops, let's see if we can adjust this. I don't want to go on a big rant about drinking water out of taps and stuff. I've already said what I think, so who cares? But, oh yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, look at down there, eh? Oh yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, sorry, this is really, I could probably put this whole thing up just because it's, I don't know why, but it's something about the thinking, and I just don't know, you know. Ugh. I mean, one thing that kind of blows me away is how sure not everyone, how sure so many people are about everything. How can you be so sure? Like, I was listening to Derrick Jensen, and he's on Extinction Radio this week, talking with Mike Ferrigan and Jennifer Hynes. And I mean, I got issues, of course, with, oops, this darken this a bit. This is getting longer than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, I definitely have issues with him, right? Now, who cares what I think? It's just, we're all just living our life, but he's just so fucking sure of himself. And I mean that in not necessarily a good way, right? Like when he talks about this whole idea of gender, transy stuff, you know, he's just talks like he's so sure of himself, and I just can't believe it. Anyway, yeah, but it's good though. He says some really good stuff. That's the thing, right? Yeah, Extinction Radio, that's a pretty good show. If you're interested, it's a kind of a podcast radio type thing, right? It's not video. But it's Mike Ferrigan's thing. And Jennifer Hynes has been doing a lot of interviewing, and she's fantastic. And Peter Melton, also fantastic. Anyway, and Paul Beckwith is often on that, almost every month it seems. And that's always great, and Guy McPherson's on it a lot. All great. And I love Mike Ferrigan's, he's just kind of like, he has a sense of humor, right? Which is great. I love that. He's not all serious. Anyway, like Derrick Jensen was talking, I kept thinking, it's like, wow, this guy talks a lot. Like, maybe that's the idea, but I don't know. But he's just like talked the whole thing. It was not really a conversation. Like, you know, when Jennifer Hynes and Deb Ozarko were talking. Like when Jennifer Hynes was interviewing Deb on Extinction Radio, I guess. It was really great because it was like a conversation between the two of them. It was like, it was active. But it was really great, I think, anyway. But with Derrick Jensen, he just basically takes over and starts talking and doesn't stop. There's not really a conversation going on, I thought. Anyway, but having said all that, and for a while in my videos I was calling Derrick Jensen he who shall never be named evermore. Or nevermore. Because of these stupid ass trans, so dumb. Anyway, that's where the being so sure of a person's self, I find it a little problematic, you know what I mean? Like, anyone who's that sure of themselves, I don't know, I would take a step back and have a look at myself and go, am I really seeing this as it is? Anyway, whatever. I mean, I'll even now, I will share videos or stuff from he who shall never be named, or he who shall never be named evermore. Derrick Jensen. Like, because he's really quite brilliant, and so much of what he talks about, I completely agree with. There's just this little aspect that I think he's got a bit of a stick up his ass, but whatever, it doesn't really matter, because there's bigger issues at stake here, right? So all of his stuff he talks about with, you know, industrial civilization, and how modern industrial civilization has to destroy nature, right? And modern capitalism, all that. I mean, you could put whatever name you want, and however far you want to go back, you could easily take that back to the dawn of agriculture, right? Which everyone says is like 8,000 years ago or whatever, which is true in some areas, but let's not forget that people were non-agricultural. Say in the country where I come from, Canada, you could go back 50 years and find people that were not living a modern life. I mean, 50 years ago, a lot of things had changed, and a lot of destruction, of course. But for sure, you could go back 100 years, and there'd be lots of people you could come across that had never put a plow in the ground. And of course, lots of Canada, you can't do that anyway, but you end up living off agriculture and industrial food and stuff just by... anyway, it's a big complicated issue with land destruction and taken away and all that. Yeah, anyway, I guess my point is, so sure of himself. I don't know. Maybe I have a bias, I'm not too shy about stating my biases. And one of them is, Of course, I gotta say I have lots of American friends, right? Let's just make that clear. Lots that I love. But there's a certain kind of belief. Maybe that's inherent in that culture. And I'm from Canada. It's a northern, it's next door. How different can that culture be? But it feels somewhat different anyway. Like I remember when I was studying Irish. I was studying Ulster Irish in Donegal, northwest of Ireland. And there was this guy. What was his name? Don or something Thompson. Not Don Thompson. That's a bass player. Anyway, his last name was Thompson, like mine, right? Anyway, and I became really close friends with this woman from Glasgow who was hilarious. She was so funny. We had such a great time together. And we were walking along. She's from Glasgow, right? I'm going to try to imitate her accent, but of course it's going to be crap. And so we're studying, and she goes, "Oh, Catherine, do you..." Sorry, this is going to flip between Northern Irish and Scottish. It's Catherine, do you notice that guy? Let's just call him Rob. Oh, it was Rob. Rob Thompson. You know that guy, Rob? He talks like he knows what he's talking about, but he's shite. He knows shite, but he still talks like he knows it all, right? Like it's like, wow, what a cultural difference. Anyway, whatever. So maybe I should end this. This is getting too long. So there's this whole thing of, I'm sorry to any Americans watching this. It's really not nice to say that. I know it, but maybe we could say as a general characteristic, maybe we can see that, in the way that governments behave and stuff. Anyway, maybe that's just the way of empires. Like, top dogs are like that. Maybe the Romans were like that too. Maybe the Brits, well, we know the Brits are like that. Do you think the British, when they were like, rampaging over, everywhere, weren't going, "Yep, we're in the right. We know everything." We know that was the situation for sure. So maybe it is an empire thing. Maybe it has nothing to do. Anyway, and I don't want to simplify it too much because it's obviously a complicated thing. Yeah. Right. So, yeah. How did I get onto this? Well, it doesn't take me much to get into a little with Jensen, right? Because I have to admit, I don't want to say he was like a hero. I don't like to put people on pedestals like that, but I certainly was deeply influenced by his writing, back in the... Geez, when would that be? I guess I read his Endgame books in, I don't know, 2004 or 5, maybe? I don't know, when did they come out? Yeah, anyway, they're just explosive books, and then, I thought of him as, he's a good spokesperson for this whole situation. It's not, I wasn't saying he has necessarily all the answers or any answers or a full and complete awareness, but it's pretty damn deep, I'll tell you that. Because everyone has different awarenesses, right? I'm not saying that's not a diss. But then this stuff started going on about the whole transy thing. And I have to say, it kind of crushed me, Still feeling it. Anyway, so that's in there. It's not the main driving factor or anything, but it's there for sure. Anyway, whatever. I guess I should cut this now. This is ridiculously long for a video about nothing. Anyway, hope everyone's doing great out there. Everything's good over here. It's kind of feels like a rainforest now. I don't always call it that, but it sure feels that way. And yeah, thanks to everyone posting. I always like to, maybe I'll say the names again, then I can tag them on my Facebook. But check out, I'm going to tag them, these guys and girls. I'm going to tag them, and you can have a look at what they're up to. I'm pretty sure most of their Facebook pages are public, So you don't necessarily have to be friends or following or whatever, how that goes. But check them out, like Paul Beckwith, Guy McPherson, Kevin Hester, Jennifer Hynes, Peter Melton, Mike Ferrigan, sorry Mike. Don't call him Michael. I saw those shows with Paul Beckwith. Paul Beckwith. Who else? Sam Carana, the Arctic something blah blah ice group, something or other. Arctic-news.blogspot, something or other. Oh, anyway, that's a good start for this group, this bunch that I'm sort of like to have a check-in with every day or two. And check them out if you're into it, if you're interested. And there's lots more than those guys. So it's there's lots out there if you really want to have a sense of what's happening. And maybe it's good to hide out once in a while, but you can't hide out forever. Okay, anyway, enough. Okay, so sawadee ka, hope everyone's doing great. Leo bakken mai chao, and chok di chao. Enjoy life. Oh, let's focus. Oh yeah, so it's clearly, I've established clearly that I always have to come back. Okay, so the big news for this, my electrical bill was 327 baht this month. That's like 12 Canadian dollars, or maybe $10.50 in US dollars. It makes me so happy. It's the little things that count.